Hello, this is Garth Wiley from 6DOF Testing and Analysis. Today we're going to talk about product structural validation approaches, particularly applied to proving grounds. And this is based on our experiences over the years. We have a series of videos that we've done on product structural validation approaches, covering field testing, durability rigs, proving grounds, and rotating machinery. In this one, we're going to focus primarily on the proving ground activities. However, some of these activities actually do support rig validation testing and field validation testing as well. So there's no one single approach that covers everything, and very often we're involved with our customers in partnering on some of these approaches. Sometimes we share the instrumentation activities or the activities at the automotive proving grounds. And much of this depends on budgets and the nature of the product and the specific situation we're dealing with. Much of our experience with regards to the proving ground testing more often involves, let's call it, specialty vehicles. The major automotive companies have pretty extensive capabilities, and there have been times we've supported some of those, but more often than not, it's the specialty vehicle companies that we're helping out. Proving ground testing often involves an instrumented vehicle, and we may use some of the efforts involved in the design process, particularly the finite element model, to guide where we're going to place the instrumentation. We can take a model of the entire structure or the subsystem we're involved in and apply loads to it. They may very well be inertial loads, twisting loads, or other type of loads, predicting stresses. And then looking at the stress patterns, the hot spots, to determine locations where we might place strain gauges. In addition, we can instrument components, certain components of the vehicle, and turn them into load cells, where we essentially get an output that's proportional to load in the various directions. Furthermore, sometimes bolted connections are very important, and the behavior of a bolt can be examined by placing strain gauges within the bolt, especially instrumenting it and looking at tension and bending loads within the bolt. Depending on the objectives of the proving grounds tests, we may also take some data to define essentially the duty cycle of the vehicle. And these, we call them road load data acquisition type testing. And they're often done on the types of roads or terrain or whatever the vehicle may encounter, loading conditions and so forth. And this would be separate from the proving ground testing, but more in the actual operating environment. And then we would go and select particular proving ground events that we would be recording data on and ultimately be relating these together, as I'll describe in a few minutes. Once on the proving ground, we may take some staged event types of data, like we mentioned, maybe a twisting type of event that puts a simple twist into the structure that we could then relate back to our finite element analysis work. And this can provide us kind of a correlation, kind of a confidence building type of activity. But we also will be doing some work on a durability course, which could have many different kinds of events. And so this could be a range of events like we see here with this particular pickup truck. Could be like a Belgian road, cobblestone road type of place, or off-road locations. In any event, most proving grounds will provide a wide range of durability courses that we could obtain data on. In a few minutes, we'll talk about some other things here, but one thing that can be done right at this stage is we can take a look at the stress data, acceleration data and so forth, particularly the stresses, and see where we are. Try to get a feeling for how the structure is doing. And in some cases, for fairly simple applications, we might stop right here. And having measured the stresses under certain environments and kind of relate them to the duty cycles that we've already got some information on, we could then go ahead and consider that the final validation. There are three approaches that we can take with regards to proving ground durability testing. One would be an A-B comparison type of approach. And that might be something that could be used where we have a vehicle that we have a lot of history on. Perhaps it's been used for many years, have a good handle on all the warranty information, a lot of faith in the structural durability of the vehicle. But let's say this vehicle is being adapted in some way to be a little bit different. We could run an A-B comparison on both of these vehicles, and we can relate the data that we obtain on the new adaptation to the data that we've gotten on a vehicle that we have a lot of history on. And this could be a very reliable way to evaluate a new adaptation of an existing design, as long as there's a significant similarity in the structures. Now, another approach that often is used is to essentially translate the proving grounds events into kind of real world life predictions. And this could get pretty involved. All the major automotive and truck companies spend a great deal of effort on doing this, and their results are quite proprietary. So to launch into this can be a major effort, and essentially this involves taking the duty cycle information of how the vehicle is used in normal operation and trying to scale these proving grounds events to this normal type of operation. And this can involve looking at durability, fatigue life, accumulated damage type of calculations and so forth. And like I say, this gets pretty involved and can be a major effort. Now, another area that can be approached here is essentially using the proving ground information for hydraulic rig testing, for durability testing, for example, putting an entire vehicle on a rig. And we might do this where perhaps we want to take about a day's worth of data on the proving grounds, but we want to run this structure to where we begin to see failures. And that might be many days even on an accelerated durability test rig. So in this way, the proving grounds activities can actually support durability test rig activities. Any of these events here or activities here can lead us towards the validated design. Thank you for listening. If you would like some additional information, you can contact 6DOF Testing and Analysis. Perhaps first of all, look at our website. This is an email address where you could reach us. And in addition, this is our phone number. So once again, thank you very much for listening.